Number 16, 1977 Jefferson Nickel and mint state 67 Plus with 5 full steps on the reverse. Grade was assigned by NGC. According to Jaime Hernandez from PCGS, even examples in MS65 appear to be scarce. In MS66, it's very difficult to find whether searching for one or buying one. They just don't show up often. With full steps, it's scarce in any condition and very underappreciated as there are very few examples available. This gem specimen fetched a sum of $1,040.62 with buyer's fee. Number 15. This is 2005D Western Waters Washington Quarter, previously from Steve Strom collection. This problem-free true gem is in the threshold of numismatic perfection. In 2005, the US Mint introduced a new obverse design for the Jefferson Nickel. Rather than having a portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left on the obverse, as it had been from 1938-2004, the new 2005 design now has a closer depiction of Thomas Jefferson, and this time he is facing right. In 2005, Mint used this obverse design for all Jefferson nickels. However, it used two different designs for the reverse of the coin, which were the Bison and the Western Waters. Most 2005P Western Waters nickels are very common in circulated grades and up to MS63 condition. High MS examples and special strike 5-cent pieces are extremely scarce though. This superb gem was sold for $1,057.50. Number 14, a bicentennial quarter, 1976 D-clad quarter dollar in MS68 condition. Remarkably, of the more than 860 million 1976 D quarters struck from the United States bicentennial, few examples have qualified for an MS68 assessment at NGC. Brilliant surfaces exhibit pristine fields, satin luster, and full design detail. It was sold for $1,740. Number 13, 1922 No D Lincoln cent in circulated condition, graded as EF45 by PCGS. The 1922 No D strong reverse cent is rare and valuable variety of the Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that was minted by the United States Mint. The term strong reverse refers to the design characteristics on the back of the coin. In the case of 1922 No D cent, the reverse design shows more pronounced and well-defined details compared to obverse. This penny was sold for $2,040. Number 12. Moving on with this 1979 Lincoln cent in MS68 red condition. Fire orange color adorns rims, progressing lilac gold patina over the central devices and fields. According to Heritage's exceptionally preserved superb gem boasts shimmering mint luster and a bold strike. Tiny ticks on the shoulder and one in front of Lincoln's mouth are noted simply for accuracy. It ended up selling for $2,820. Number 11. This is 1999 P. Jefferson Nickel in MS68 condition with full steps. Registry set collectors actively pursue superb gem examples of this issue, although the present piece is in the class by itself. The strike on this one is needle sharp and the radiant surfaces yield a hint of champagne toning. It was sold for $4,465. Number 10. Here is 1924 D Lincoln cent in MS64 Plus red condition. CEC proved an excellent gem. According to NGC, the Denver Mint had not coined cents since the small production of early 1922, and the demand for additional pieces returned very slowly to the region it served. Denver coined for the nation's breadbasket states, and American farmers were in distressed conditions throughout the decade. Most 1924 D cents were poorly struck from a quite worn dice. Full red gems are elusive, and mint state coins in any grade are in constant demand. Circulated pieces are likewise quite scarce even in the lowest grades. This MS64 Plus penny was sold for $4,749.75 with buyer's fee. Number 9, moving on with his 1977 S Lincoln Cent in PR70 red deep cameo condition, a wonderful rose gold Lincoln Cent that is sharply struck and virtually absent of carbon flecks. A small area of crimson color is noted at the center of obverse. It was sold for $6,037.50. This is rare 1970 NOS Roosevelt dime in PR69 cameo condition. A presumably distracted mint worker neglected to enter an S mint mark on the obverse die for this pristine superb gem. The various NOS varieties are the keys to the proof Roosevelt dime series. This error dime was sold for $6,037.50. Number 7, this is 1975 Lincoln Cent in MS68 red condition. The surfaces are flawless as expected and display rich orange color. 2 specks of carbon are noted, one on each side. It was sold for $9,000. Number 6, 1955 Washington Quarter with intense rainbow toning. Graded in mint state 67 Plus by PCGS, this superb gem exhibits frosty mint luster beneath intense gold, blue, and iridescent toning that provides exceptional aesthetic appeal. This bad boy was sold for $12,000. Number 5, here is 1982 P Jefferson Nickel in MS68 Plus condition with full steps. Jefferson Nickels of some modern era that were minted during the last 50 years are generally rare in top grades, and that is especially true for those struck during the 1980s. Regardless of their designation or lack thereof, this sharply detailed super gem, the finest that PCGS has examined, features satin luster and splendid gold, blue, and violet toning. It was sold for $12,600. Number 4, this is 1964 Jefferson Nickel in MS67 grade. The strike is excellent, and swirling champagne and ice blue hues further heighten the appeal. This super gem is quite literally the ultimate 1964 Jefferson. It is the finest full steps example certified by PCGS with total population of 6 pairs, including this one. It ended up selling for $14,100. Number 3, here is beautifully toned 1962 Washington Quarter in MS67 Plus condition. Plated on the PCGS COIN webpage, it shows radiant luster and vivid multicolor toning. The strike is sharp and there are no buzzers or abrasions. Certified 1962 Washington Quarters in super gem condition are scarce and highly sought after by registry set collectors. This one was sold for $26,400. Number 2, 1950 Washington Quarter in PR68 condition. With deep cameo designation, razor sharp and almost flawlessly preserved, showing stark contrast between the frosted devices and the liquid-like feels. Each side is brilliant, adding to the outstanding white and black appearance. The proof 1950 Quarter exists mainly in non-cameo grades. Deep cameo pieces are inherently rare. This true gem was sold for $31,200. Number 1, and this is 1919 Lincoln Cent in MS69 red condition, CAC proven unsurpassed rarity in this grade. Though an armistice was declared late in 1918, the superheated wartime economy rolled on into the following year. The Philadelphia Mint set a record for cent production in 1919 that was not exceeded until 1940, when another war loomed. This issue is common in all grades, but in MS67 and above they are pretty scarce, and in MS69 grade, almost unheard of. This is a single finest specimen reported by PCGS, and it was sold for $421,875 with buyer's fee. Number 15, this is 1999 D Roosevelt diamond in MS69 condition with full bands. A superb business strike 10-cent piece in threshold of numismatic perfection. Just one point prevents this dime from the finest grade available. That is MS70. Strike is tack sharp and both horizontal bands on the torch are delineated. It was sold for $1,800 on August 20, 2023. Number 14 here is 1952 Lincoln Cent in PR67 Plus condition with cameo designation. The PR stands for proof, which indicates that the coin was struck using specially prepared dies and planchets to create a high-quality mirror-like finish. A grade of PR67 Plus indicates that the coin is in excellent condition, with only minor imperfections visible under magnification. The cameo designation refers to the contrast between the mirrored fields of the coin and the frosted design elements. A coin with cameo designation has deep reflective fields and frosted raised design elements. This collectible gem ended up selling for $1,856.25 with buyer's fee. Number 13, this is 1944 P Jefferson Nickel struck on a silver dime planchet, a rare error coin in MS63 condition. According to Heritage, the present lot is a lustrous example with light honey gold toning and minimal post-strike abrasions. The high points are incompletely brought up, and those areas retain the planchet surface. The date and the meat mark are clear and complete. The strike is uncentered with most of wheat rust and United States off the flank. Liberty and the date have stretched appearance due to unstrained outward metal flow. It was sold for $2,400. Number 12, 1912 S Lincoln Cent in MS65 Plus red condition. The 1912 S is a challenging date to acquire with full red color, and it is particularly scarce at the gem level. This high-end beauty boasts lovely copper red coloration and strong luster throughout. This one was sold for $3,112. Number 11. This is 1972 Jefferson Nickel in MS67 condition with full steps. Gorgeous gold and pastel rainbow tones grace both sides of this premium gem. Lustrous and fully struck, this is a fantastic piece for the registry collector. It was sold for $2,500. Number 10, here is 1926 Lincoln Cent in MS67 Plus red condition. According to NGC, blessed with large mintage and slightly better than usual quality control for the 1920s, the 1926P is easily found in fully red gem condition from fresh or just slightly worn dies. The example illustrated show what the advanced collector should seek in this issue. These cents are likewise common in all circulated grades. Examples could be found in pocket change right into 1960s. High-end gems are scarce. This specimen was sold for $3,125. Number 9, 1941 Washington Quarter in PR68 Plus condition. Bright silver gray interiors border amazing peripheral shades of peach orange, magenta, violet, and forest green hues on both sides. The underlying surfaces of this superb gem proof are unmarked and fully struck up. Destined for the finest collection of the proof Washington Quarters, it was sold for $3,720 on August 18, 2023. Number 8, 2022 D. Lincoln Shield Cent, graded in mint state 68 red by PCGS. This penny is radiating vibrant mint luster, featuring boldly struck, pristine device elements and distraction-free fields. Eye appeal is outstanding. With overall 59 bids, it ended up selling for $3,262. Number 7, here is 1909 SVDB Lincoln Cent in MS64 red condition, a fantastic key date with alluring luster and great surface quality. The 1909 SVDB cent is highly sought after and rare coin in the field of numismatics. It refers to a Lincoln cent that was minted in 1909 at the San Francisco Mint and bears the initials VDB of the coin's designer, the Victor David Brenner, on the reverse side. The rarity of this coin stems from its limited mintage and historical significance as the first year of the issue for the Lincoln cent. Due to its scarcity and popularity among collectors, the 1909 SVDB cent often commands a high value in the coin market. This one was sold for $4,000. Number 6. This is 1915 S Buffalo Nickel in MS66 condition. Elusive specimen with dynamic, beaming mint luster. This seemingly perfect San Francisco mint nickel boasts a wondrous eye appeal and soft pink highlights and a very nice strike. It was sold for $6,969. Number 5. This is 1925 S Lincoln cent with attractive toning, graded in mint state 65 red and brown by PCGS. According to NGC, despite a fairly substantial mintage, 1925 S cents of desirable quality are quite scarce. Worn examples are quite common from widespread hoarding during 1930s and 50s, and mint state pieces of so-so quality are likewise available. Fully red gems are very rare and tend to be much darker in shades than Philadelphia mint cents. This issue is perhaps not quite as hard to find with decent strike as its Denver mint cousin, but the typical 1925 S cent is mushy on one or both sides. The dies were used way too long and may have been improperly hardened as well, but the result was coins having blurry and grossly distorted features. This specimen fetched the sum of $4,920 on August 20, 2023. Number 4, a rare error coin 1972 S Eisenhower dollar, double struck, both strikes off center, graded as PR67 cameo by NGC. The first strike was approximately 40% off center toward 12 o'clock. The second strike is about 35% off center toward 1 o'clock. The date and the mint mark from the second strike are bold. The date and the mint mark from the first strike are faint, but visible due to north of their second strike impression, colorfully toned apple green, cream gray, and autumn brown, a dramatic error on a brown Ike, proof 40% silver Eisenhower dollar. It was sold for $7,800 on August 17, 2023. Number 3, 1911 Lincoln cent in MS67 red condition. The appeal of this full red superb gem to the registry set collector is rivaled by very few others. The coin exhibits frosty copper-orange luster and remarkably clean surfaces with none of the tiny planchet marks and ticks that typically affect Lincoln's shoulder. The fields exhibit minor die fatigue in the margins, but the strike is nonetheless bold on each side. Sold on August 17, 2023 for $9,600. Number 2. 2002p Indiana quarter struck on a dime planchet, graded in mint state 64 by PCGS, a wrong planchet error on a briefly produced type. The Philadelphia mint mark is bold and complete, though close to the edge. The Indy race car and the Washington bust are also complete. The date and E pluribus unum are off flam, as is most of United States of America. It was sold for $17,400. And here is newly discovered specimen of popular 1969 S double die obverse Lincoln cent. It was recently showcased at Stack's Bowers auction, graded in mint state 63 plus red by PCGS and proven by CAC. Doubling on all obverse letterings are included, except the mint mark. Exciting as a newly discovered example of this rare variety, this is an important choice full red scent. It is attractive with bright, even pinkish rose mint color on both sides. There are few blemishes of any kind, and most are so small as to be easily overlooked by the unaided eye. The 1969 double diverse is an extremely desirable variety, having an estimated population of just 40 to 50 pieces based on combined certification service statistics. This elusive specimen was sold for $72,000. Number 16, 1974 D. Lincoln Cent in MS67 Plus red condition. According to PCGS, the 1974 D. Lincoln Cent is very common. The mean struck over 4.2 billion examples that every Lincoln Cent collector can own many of them. In circulated grades up to MS66, they are common. In MS67, they are much scarcer overall. In MS68 or higher, they are considered rare. This MS67 Plus gem was sold for $1,125.01 with buyer's fee. Number 15, this is 1970, known as Roosevelt Diamond PR69 cameo condition. Amazing cameo surfaces are mainly untoned and well impressed. Experts seem to think that only about 2,200 dimes were struck without S mint mark. This was due to the fact that one die was prepared at Philadelphia and sent to San Francisco to be used. Apparently, the quantity mentioned above was released before the mistake was found and corrected, giving a collector a great error to acquire. This elusive dime ended up selling for $1,980. Number 14, here is 1993 Memorial Penny in MS68 Plus red condition. A 1993 Lincoln Memorial Cent graded as MS68 Plus red is indeed a high-quality coin. A coin graded as MS68 Plus red is in exceptional condition, nearly free of any noticeable imperfections. Such high-grade coins are relatively rare because they have survived in an uncirculated state, preserving their original mint luster and surface quality. This scarce specimen was sold for $1,184.62 with buyer's fee. Number 13, this is 1951 D. Roosevelt Diamond MS68 condition, sandy silver patina to most areas. The obverse periphery was halo of more vivid olive orange iridescence, enhancing the coin's appearance. There is not even a single noticeable abrasion, as one should demand at uppermost reach of the mean state grading scale. It was sold for $2,185. Number 12, a 1969 Lincoln Cent, but just an ordinary superb gem example with no doubling elements on obverse, graded in mean state 67 by PCGS. Surfaces are free from blemishes or toning. Only large distraction is the slanting mark on the head of the president. This penny displays vibrant mint luster, and eye appeal is very pleasing. It was sold for $3,000.38 with buyer's fee. Number 11, 1942 Washington Quarter in PR68 condition. This is an exceptional example of the proof 1942 Washington Quarter, both sides with crescents of intense, multicolored iridescent patina around the peripheries, otherwise lightly toned in pale silver. The surfaces are uniformly mirrored in finish with a virtually pristine appearance. Impressive condition rarity from a mintage of 21,123 coins. This example was sold for $4,800. Number 10, this is 1965 Lincoln Cent in MS67 Plus red condition. The 1965p Lincoln Cent is very common, especially since over 1.49 billion examples were struck. Only in MS66 condition is it somewhat scarce, yet still thousands of MS66 examples should still be out there. Keep an eye out for high-end MS66 examples, since those are very scarce according to PCGS, especially since examples in MS67 condition are very difficult to find and truly scarce. despite having a very large mintage. This elusive specimen was sold for $4,050 with buyer's fee. Number 9, this is 1952 S Roosevelt Diamond MS69 condition. Best in a vivid mint set toning. Both sides exhibit rich crimson copper and orange russet peripheral colors around the lighter old silver centers. All areas are equally smooth with not even a single trivial blemishes in evidence. It was sold for $5,750. Number 8, 1919D Mercury Diamond MS64 Plus condition with full bands. Colorful iridescence cradles the borders of this impressive near gem. The luster is overall satiny and entirely unbroken by friction or blemishes of consequence. A full strike is apparent to all devices with intricacies sharp for even the most stubborn regions. The obverse is host to a number of die cracks concentrated on lower peripheries, with a bisecting crack that extends from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock border, a gorgeous representative of this desirable strike and condition rarity. It was sold for $6,462.50. Number 7, 1959D Washington Quarter with multicolored toning, graded in mint state 67 Plus by PCGS and proven by CAC. Exceptionally vivid multicolored toning enhances virtually pristine surfaces on both sides of this captivating superb gem. Like its identically dated Philadelphia mint counterparts, the 1959D is surprisingly scarce in the finest mint state grades. For a late date 90% Washington Quarter with mintage of 62,054,232 coins. This highly sought after gem was sold for $9,600. Number 6, 1943 D Lincoln Cent in MS67 condition. This is an elusive wartime penny with repunched mint mark on obverse. Pristine looking surfaces are satiny in texture and virtually perfect in every way. An intriguing coin, although the repunched D is obvious and noted. It was sold for $10,200. Number 5, 1937 Double Die Obverse Washington Quarter, graded in mint state 66 by PCGS, a stellar example of this rare and desirable double die obverse variety, with satiny luster basking the fields and devices toned with a hint of yellow haze. Examination of the surfaces will find a little evidence of contact, and this would be a great coin were it simply the usual obverse die, but this is a dramatically doubled obverse. Note the doubling on the motto and the date, which is clear with a magnifier. It was sold for $17,825. Number 4, this is 1995 Lincoln Cent in MS69 red condition. Extraordinary specimen with immaculate surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. A 1995 Lincoln Cent graded as MS69 is a high-grade coin that's almost perfect in terms of condition. However, whether it's considered rare and valuable depends on a few factors. An MS69 grade indicates that the coin is virtually flawless under close examination, but falls just short of the highest grade, MS70. Coins graded as MS69 are highly sought after by collectors due to their excellent condition, but they are not extremely rare. Nevertheless, this specimen was sold for $19,202.62 with buyer's fee. Number 3, here is 1910 Lincoln Cent in MS67 red condition. This beautiful coin offers the technical quality and the eye appeal that Lincoln Cent collectors would want all of their coins to possess, but few of which actually do. Frosty surfaces are as bright and fresh as the day the coin emerged from the dies. The color is original and highly attractive. Both sides feature a blend of salmon pink, golden rose, and medium orange shades. Fully struck and free of even the most trivial blemishes, it was sold for $24,000. Number 2, this is 1916D Mercury Dime with outstanding toning, graded as MS66 FB by NGC, with star designation. A richly toned, sharply struck, and impressively lustrous gem example of the most important dime issues of the 20th century, a day that saw a production run of just 264,000 pieces. Both sides of this colorful gem are splashed throughout with lively rose, fiery crimson, neon blue, and deep sunset orange iridescence. The pristine surfaces are essentially mark-free, even under low magnification. It was sold for $45,237.50. Number 1, and this is 1918 Lincoln Center MS68 red condition. This virtually flawless example really needs to be seen to be fully appreciated. Silky smooth surfaces exhibit vivid mint color of beautiful pinkish red. The striking detail is razor sharp to full throughout the design, and eye appeal is extraordinary. While there is no denying that the 1918 is one of the more plentiful early-date Lincoln cents, high-quality mint-state examples are scarcer than those of 1916 and 1919. Near the pinnacle of numismatic preservation and quality, this red ultra gem is one of the utmost condition rarity. It ended up selling for $55,200. This is circulated 1922 no-D Lincoln penny with strong reverse, highly sought after and valuable variety even in significant, worn, and poorly struck condition like this, graded as VF certified by PCGS. VF stands for Very Fine by Sheldon Coin Grading Scale. This elusive specimen ended up selling for $1,320 on July 18, 2023. Number 14, an error penny, 1972 Lincoln cent, struck over 1971 Lincoln penny, graded in mint state 62 brown by PCGS. The 1971 cent somehow escapes the scrutiny of mint employee, or some mischievous staff member intentionally put it into the bins of cent planchettes. And this seldom encountered error happened. Strong traces of undertype is evident on the reverse side, with memorial slanting 45 degrees and shadowy E pluribus unum above. This error penny was sold for $1,560. Number 13. This Washington quarter proof is also a byproduct of mint slip-up. 1972 as Washington quarter double struck on a Roosevelt dime, otherwise called double denomination coin, graded as PR68 by NGC. Due to size difference, significant portions of quarter has irregular and incomplete shape. In God we trust and the date are not fully struck, as well as upper and lower letterings of reverse. It ended up selling for $3,600 in June 2023. Number 12, 1955 D Roosevelt dime with full bands, graded in mint state 68 by PCGS, well-blended toning in copper rose, powder blue, and pale gold colors, is seen both sides of this vivid superb gem. The underlying luster is fully frosted and intense, and the surfaces are as pristine as the day the coin emerged from the press. The Denver's Mint struck over 30 million dimes in 1955. At the time, collecting coins by roll was popular among collectors, and quite a few rolls of this issue were soon removed from circulation. This created an ample supply of mint-state specimens, including some with downright exquisite toning as here. The challenge of locating a striking gem example is further compounded by the fact that the bands on the torch on the reverse are sometimes rather weak and poorly defined. This one displays fully struck torch on reverse, and it ended up selling for $5,280. Number 11, 1956 D Jefferson Nickel in MS66 Plus condition with full steps. A rare premium gem example that matches exceptional production quality with ideal preservation. The fields are flooded by a silken luster and appear nearly proof-like in hand, courtesy of fine dye polishing visible around the devices. The surfaces are pearly silver gray, accented by subtle golden iridescence near the borders. It was sold for $7,200. Number 10, another 5-cent piece. 1961 Jefferson Nickel and MS66, also with full steps. The present coin displays satiny nickel gray luster and sharp definition of Monticello, despite metal flow lines in the fields from the die wear. It is extremely difficult to locate 1961 nickel and MS66 with full steps. PCGS population of MS66 gems is comprised of only 6 pieces with non-numerically finer. This scarce specimen was bargained for $9,000. Number 9. Attractively toned 1952 D Franklin half dollar graded in mint state 67 with full bell lines by PCGS. The majority of certified 1952 D half dollars are designated as full bell lines, and that is unsurprising as submissions are always value-based. PCGS has examined nearly 7,000 examples of this issue, mostly in grades below MS66. This piece is an amazing superb gem with bold strike. Both sides have brilliant frosty luster with light gold toned frame. It fetched a sum of $11,100 at auction. Number 8. A wartime error penny, 1943 steel penny with repunched mint mark D. D over D variety. On this particular die, the D mint mark was first punched in too low and too close to Lincoln's coat, and then was repunched in the proper position, resulting in a dramatic doubled mint mark variety, classified as FS 501 in the popular Cherry-Picker's Guide. Bill Fivas and J.T. Stanton note, this repunched mint mark is extremely tough to locate. This variety will be very easy to sell at a significant premium. End of quote. And this specimen was sold for $12,600 in 2022. Number 7. This is 1949 Roosevelt dime in MS68 condition. This is a formidable rarity for Roosevelt collector indeed. The obverse is painted in rich bands of colorful iridescence that intensify at the right border, showing a blend of teal, violet, and magenta hues. The reverse remains virtually brilliant, save for slight dusting of olive patina visible under scrutiny. Perfectly executed and essentially untouched, the present piece simply cannot be improved upon. It was sold for $13,200. Number 6, 1946 S Lincoln Cent in MS67 Plus red condition. Given that its mintage approached 200 million pieces, the 1946 S will never be rare in typical mint state, but in mint state 67 red grade, the issue acquires conditional significance, since only 25 pieces have attained that level at PCGS with non-finer. A sharply struck and unabraded orange-red superb gem that was bargained for $16,800. Number 5. This is 1938D Walking Liberty half dollar in MS67 Plus condition. The 1938D Walking Liberty half dollar claims status as a key date among post-1934 issues in this series, boasting a mintage of only 491,600 pieces. Despite its reputation, however, the date is relatively available and merely experiences heightened demand and thus strong pieces compared to common dates. That is until one reaches the superb gem level of MS67 and over. This piece displays splashes of olive gold and amber red toning in the right obverse margin, while the remainder of the coin is largely brilliant. Well struck and appealing, with just a touch of softness on Liberty's branch hand. It was sold for $17,400. Number 4, 1974 S Lincoln Cent struck on a Philippines aluminum planchet, foreign planchet and uniface reverse error. The US Mint struck more than 60 million 1975 centimos for Philippines, apparently in 1974. The 1974 S is a final San Francisco issue struck for circulation, and at least one centimo planchet ended up between cent dies. It was apparently fed directly on the top of a regular bronze cent planchet, with the obverse of the centimo flange struck by the obverse die, and the reverse of the bronze planchet struck by the reverse die. This brilliant example is lustrous and lightly abraded. Lincoln's hair is incompletely brought up. The L in Liberty is off the flank, but the legends are otherwise complete. It was sold for $19,200. Number 3, 1943 Lincoln cent struck on a Cuban 1 centavo, graded in Mint State 62 by PCGS. The United States Mint has produced coins for foreign governments at various times during its history, so the production of 1 centavo coins for Cuba in 1943 is certainly not a unique or noteworthy event in and of itself. This piece is quite dramatic in appearance, with a Cuban star centered under the effigy of Lincoln on the obverse. The peripheral lettering and 1943 date are all prominently visible. The real mystery continues on the reverse. The cent was struck with a metallic turn of the dice, 180 degrees from the standard coin turn as used on all American coins. It was sold for $38,187.50. Number 2, 1964 Kennedy half dollar from Special Mint set, graded as MS67 by PCGS. The surfaces are satin textured as seen to a greater or lesser degree on every 1964 SMS Kennedy. Attractive salmon orange rim toning appears on the upper obverse and lower reverse. Some carbon gray flecks are scattered around the lower and left obverse. The strike is remarkably full on all details, and a sharp wire rim around the both sides is also typical. The dangling forward die marker on obverse is prominent. It was sold for $47,000. Number 1, and the most valuable coin of this episode, 1943 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchet. The most popular wartime error penny, graded in Mint State 62 by NGC. The 1943 bronze penny is highly valuable due to its rarity and historical significance. In 1943, the United States Mint was supposed to produce pennies made of zinc-coated steel to conserve the copper for use in World War II. However, a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck in bronze, which was used in previous years' coins. These bronze pennies are extremely rare because they were supposed to be made of different metal. It is estimated that only a few dozen of these bronze pennies exist today, making them highly sought after by collectors. The combination of their rarity, historical context, and allure of owning a unique and valuable coin contributes to their high worth in numismatic market. This one was sold for $282,000. Number 16, this is 2008 Sacagawea dollar in MS68 condition. Highly elusive superb gem with immaculate surfaces and vibrant manganese luster. According to PCGS, the 2008 D Sacagawea dollars have one of the lowest mintages, if not the lowest, in the entire series. They are common in grades up to MS66. In MS67, some sorting is required, but not difficult to find with proper searching. However, in MS68 they are very difficult to find, and probably no more than 100 examples exist in this condition or higher. This superb gem ended up selling for $2,430. Number 15, this is 1911 S Lincoln cent in MS66 red condition. Satiny pale mint orange surfaces display boldly struck motifs and lively luster. According to NGC, the low mintage of cents at San Francisco in 1911 attracted no attention at the time, but the collecting of current coins grew in popularity during the 1930s and revealed just how few pieces could still be found in circulation. Mint state coins were always quite scarce, with fully red gems being exceedingly so. This specimen was sold for $5,750. Number 14, this is 1941 Lincoln cent with double die obverse, graded in Mint State 66 red by PCGS, intensely lustrous rich mint orange with superb overall eye appeal, doubling boldest at Liberty, of lesser sharpness at In God We Trust. One of only handful examples currently known, and no doubt among the finest specimens extant. It was sold for $5,750. Number 13, this is 2005 Sacagawea dollar with satin finish, a collectible coin in MS70 condition, the highest grade available in Sheldon coin grading scale. Coin is virtually free from distractions or contact marks. This outstanding gem was sold for $7,593.75 with buyer's fee. Number 12, here is 1914 deal England cent in MS64 Plus red condition. According to NGC, though not the lowest mintage issue in the Lincoln cent series, the 1,193,000 cents coined at Denver in 1914 have the smallest surviving population. The other two dates were targeted by speculators and thus survive in disproportionately high numbers, while 1914 D cents flew under the radar until the opportunity to save them was all but lost. Most surviving mint state examples of this date are probably from a hoard of 70 pieces mentioned by Walter Breen and still in existence through the early 1950s. It was sold for $8,749.12 with buyer's fee. Number 11, this is 1956 Jefferson Nickel in PR68 deep cameo condition. Bright nickel gray with frosty devices and dusting of light yellow gold toning on both sides. This elusive specimen fetched a sum of $7,762.50. Number 10, this is 1938 D Walking Liberty half dollar in MS67 condition. A simply breathtaking superb gems, right obverse peripheries layered in vivid crimson red, orange gold and bright blue iridescence that yields to virtual brilliance elsewhere on that side of a coin. Similar colors are also evident on the reverse, but the more vivid ones are more tightly confined to the right border. Bountiful mint luster and uncommonly smooth sheen round out an impressive list of attributes. It was sold for $10,925. Number 9, here is 1952 S Washington Quarter in MS68 condition. Rich olive russet, sandy gold, orange copper and silver gray colors compete for dominance on both sides of this undeniable original superb gem. Virtually perfect with full mint frost and nary a distracting blemish in evidence. It was sold for $10,925. Number 8, this is 1919 Lincoln cent in MS65 red condition, an impressive condition rarity from the early portion of ever popular Lincoln cent series. This important gem is far finer than the typically offered mint state survivor. We see none of bothersome striking incompleteness and muting to the surfaces often associated with this issue. Instead, both sides retain full mint bloom in warm medium orange hue, tinge of pale rose color, and also intermingled over the surfaces. The strike is sharp throughout and nearly complete, and we see nary distracting abrasion or other blemish to limit either the grade or eye appeal. It was sold for $14,950. Number 7, this is 1932 D Washington Quarter in MS65 condition. As one of the lowest mintage issues in the entire Washington Quarter series of 1932 date, the 1932 D is a key date issue in all grades. It is also a leading condition rarity for the type, with gems more elusive than those of even the lower mintage 1932S. The strike of this coin is expectably sharp for the issue, but the surfaces are far more smoother than typically seen, with none but a few inconsequential ticks scattered about. It ended up selling for $14,375. Number 6, 1971 Lincoln cent was double diverse, graded in mint state 66 red by PCGS. This is an easy double diverse to spot, although perhaps not for the obvious reasons. Doubling is certainly readily evident on the word liberty and the motto in God we trust, and to a lesser extent the date. More prominent, however, is the fact that the obverse is struck from a slightly misaligned die, with the result that it appeared to be somewhat off-center. It was sold for $14,950. Number 5. This is 1944 S. Washington quarter in MS68 condition. According to Stack's Powers, a wash in blended reddish gold, blue-gray, and pale pink iridescence, this beautiful superb gem retains full vibrancy to a frosty mint luster. There is not so much a single distracting abrasion or other blemish to limit either the technical quality or eye appeal. It was sold for $16,100. Number 4. Here is 1912 Barberhoff dollar in PR67 condition. Deep steel gray with host of vibrant iridescent rainbow hues on both sides. A colorful example of the design type. It was sold for $25,875. Number 3. This is 1916 Standing Liberty quarter in MS64 condition. A bright and lustrous specimen with a hint of pale gold toning, nicely struck and not far off the coveted full head designation, from the mintage of just 52,000 pieces. Far and away smallest production figure of the design type, as well as one of the lowest mintage figures among all 20th century issues in any denomination. It was sold for $34,500. Number 2, 1971 S. Ike dollar overstruck on a San Francisco SA Office medal, graded as PR69 red by NGC. A bronze San Francisco SA Office medal was used as a host for this rare of-metal Eisenhower dollar. Much of the undertype is evident, including the Department of the Treasury, 1789 on obverse, and SAN and CAL on the reverse, west of the lowered wing. The orange, red, and lilac color is pleasing and demonstrated by outward metal flow on In God We Trust and United. It was sold for $40,800. And the most valuable lot of this episode, CAC proven 1910 Lincoln Cent in PR68 red condition. According to NGC, this is among the more available matte proofs of the Lincoln design. Even so, the number of survivors displaying original red color is quite small. The term matte is misleading, as they are actually satin proofs. The coins were not sandblasted after striking like the gold proofs, but rather have a natural texture imparted by the dies. This superb gem ended up selling for $165,937.50 with buyer's fee.